All right, firstly, thank you very much for your time today, Cody. You have been swooped up, snapped up, and signed up with Titan FC. You go and fight on in December. Your opponent is, for you, I think this is a very good marker of a challenge. You know, you got a guy who's a very experienced fighter in Kevin, and for you, you know, I think it's good for you as a fighter. Are you quite looking forward to this? Because, you know, the only loss on your record is a split decision. So with a guy like Cody with so much experience, it must be someone you're quite excited about facing.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as they gave me the call, I didn't hesitate to take the fight. Obviously, it's a huge opportunity for me. You know, fighting for Titan FC. They're great promotion. Kevin's a tough guy. He really is going to be an awesome test to see where I'm at. Kind of see if I can hang with the big boys. You know, I can. I just have to go out there and prove it to everybody else. You know, it's going to be like a coming out party for me, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got to be a good marker, like I said before, and I think you do need fights like this when, especially at your stage of your career, where you've got a very solid record, and it's really, you know, you've really got to start testing yourself now. You can't, you can't. You got to get to the bigger shows. You've got to start facing, you know, more maybe, like I say, more experienced opponent, someone who can possibly push a nice hard 3 rounds.
But there's
I'm
two
not saying
ways to look at it, isn't it?
yeah.
It's, some might say test themselves, some might say show what they can really do.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's what I mean. It's a test.
Yeah.
It is a test because can you come out of your shell and show the potential you have, especially on the big stage. I would say this is your biggest stage in the sense of it's going to be on Fight Pass. You've got a lot of eyes then coming on to you to watch. So does that quite excite you, the fact that a lot of people can maybe see what you can do?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting to fight in front of a larger crowd, but I mean, it doesn't really ruffle my feathers at all. I'm pretty used to the pressure. You know, where I'm from in Michigan, I'm kind of a hometown favorite. You know, I have a lot of people come out to the fights. So there's always a lot of pressure. You know, my last 5 fights have been main event championship fights. So I mean, the whole pressure issue isn't. I mean, I don't really think too much about that. You know, I'm just really focused on being the best fighter I can be come December 18th, being in great shape, and giving everything I can to Kevin Croom that night.
What are you doing then to be the best fighter you can be? What is it you're doing with training? How what is it? Are you going anywhere in particular? What is it?
Well, I actually train at Michigan Top Team, Dearborn, Michigan. We have a really good group of guys. You know, guys my size, guys a little bit bigger. You know, some of the guys to name. You know, Jason Fisher, Bellator lightweight tournament vet, Darren Cruikshank. He's my main training partner. He's he's got like 15 UFC fights. You know, we have an awesome coaching staff. You know, we have separate coaches for every aspect of the game. You know, my jiu-jitsu coach is, no-gi world champ, black belt, John Tullis. My boxing coach, Tara Rowe, you know, she's like a 6-time, female professional boxing world champ. You know, I have a, awesome coaching staff. And really, I live in Grand Rapids, but when I have a fight coming up, I'm in Detroit for 8 weeks. Just so I'm there. I have nothing to focus on but, preparing my mind and body for the fight. So that's my basic 8-week training camp. And I'm coming off of, I just fought October 24th. I fought a really tough kid in Chris Dunn. I had a 5-round fight with him. I won all 5 rounds. So, I mean, I did like a 10, 12-week training camp for that. Took a week off, and I'm jumping right back into another one. So, I'm just, I got a head of steam right now, and I'm ready to, really get the ball rolling. I'm ready to make some things happen in my fighting career.
So I'm guessing confidence is in a good place at the moment.
What's that?
I'm guessing your confidence is in a good place at the moment.
Oh yeah. I'm very confident. You know that when I fought Chris Dunn, I was training. I trained in Las Vegas for like 6 months. I really just focused on getting better for a while. I hadn't fought in like 10 months, and then I was fighting at a weight class I hadn't fought at in a couple of years at 135. There's a lot of things stacking against me in that fight, and then I came out. Chris is definitely my toughest opponent. The guy's a killer. He's been beating guys up with similar records to me, like his last 5, 6 fights. And I came out and I won every single round really decisively. So I mean, that was like a kind of like a like it just made me realize that all this hard work and all this dedication, all this stuff is paying off. Like I really can fight. I can go in there and scrap with anybody. So it's just when this opportunity came up, I was thrilled because I really do want people to see what I can do. I think I belong amongst the elite at 135, and Kevin Croom is a stepping stone for me to prove that.
I think it's always good as well when you're moving up to a big stage. If you're coming off a good solid 5 rounds like that, that in some respects is better than a chunk of time in training. I think because you really get to test the things you've been working on, and it's like a live firing exercise. It's
no, it really is. It's like I like it. It really got I can see where my gas tank is at. I can see little details I need to work on. Things mentally, physically. And then the next 8 weeks just focusing on making those little improvements and just building on what the foundation I already laid down. That last training camp. I prefer it to be this way because a lot of guys are like in camp and then 3 months they're just doing nothing, and then half their training camp is just trying to get back in shape so they can function at a level to get ready to fight. To where me, 2 weeks after the fight, I could have fought again. I didn't have any injuries. I was 100% healthy. My weight's good. Everything's great. So I'm really fortunate to have had that fight directly before. So when I talked to my coaches about it, everyone was like, "Yeah, dude, you need to fight again because you're healthy. You just got done with a huge fight. You did well. Let's just build on it and keep going forward."
Well, yes, exactly. I mean, your mental state would then be in the right place, knowing that your cardio's on point. Which is probably sometimes one of the biggest things. Like, am I going to gas, etc. It's if you've done a good solid 5 rounds against a live opponent, okay, right, the cardio's sound.
Well, you're going into a 3-round fight now, so my question is, will you be able to probably apply a higher pace of pressure as you would do then now, knowing that you've got the gas tank for the 5 rounds?
Right, yeah. I mean, everything changes now because, training for a 5-round fight, it's basically, it's really a different pace. Mm-hmm. And then training for a 3-round fight, it's basically a sprint. Like, I need to be able to sprint for 15 minutes straight. And, I could do that for 5-minute rounds because I really pride myself on my conditioning. I think that a lot of fights are won and lost based on who has a better gas tank and who wants it more. And, as far as that's concerned, like, I am one of the most in shape fighters I've ever met in my life. I come in shape, and I know Kevin is going to be in great shape. So this is going to be like a pretty explosive fight. Preparing for that because he comes in great shape. He's really aggressive. I come in great shape. I'm really aggressive. So our styles are it's going to turn out to be a war because what he does and what I do good are our aggressive nature and our conditioning. So I got to be able to go for 15 minutes as hard as I can, and so will he. So it's going to be an awesome test.
Having Crookshank as kind of like you said, kind of main training partner, so does he help then with kind of basically guidance, not just in training but just in general with your career, and just 'cause I would imagine having someone like that, it's very helpful to have around. It keeps you kind of level-headed.
Yeah. I mean, Jared and I met when I was still an amateur and he was still like 1-0 or 2-0 as a pro. So, I was, he's like 5 or 6 years older than me. Basically, I've been like his little apprentice, you could say. Like all the mistakes that he made in his career, he made sure that I didn't make. You know what I mean? He really, it was a learning experience for him. And then he'd make a mistake and he'd tell me like, hey, don't do this, be patient, do this. And it was also great to see, like, that him and I came up from the exact same place. We were doing the exact same workout day in and day out. I lived with the dude for, like, 4 years. So we would work out together, like, pretty much every day. And it was cool to see, like, him go from, fighting at, like, small local shows, to fighting, in the UFC. And I've cornered him in, like, 15 UFC fights. Or no, 12 of his UFC fights. So it's pretty cool for me to see that, like, what we're doing actually works, and if I'm doing the same thing he's doing, I can have the same results. I can be in the UFC. I can be a top contender. I can fight, world class opponents and make a little money doing it.
I was going to say, Darren is always in entertaining fights. I mean, yeah, I like to watch him personally. It's so he's an ideal marker stick to have in your gym. As a training partner to see where you're at yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he can do stuff that other people just can't. Like he can throw crazy kicks and after sparring with him day in and day out, sparring everybody else kind of seems a little mild because when I'm sparring Darren, I got to worry about him taking my head off with a spinning heel kick or spinning back kicking me in the stomach, making my lunch come up. Like he can just do things that most fighters can't. Most guys are bread and butter. He's more like a buffet of offensive crap coming at you when you're sparring with him. So it's definitely good to have a guy like that in the gym.
It is, yeah. I think having someone like that around is always helpful, just like you say, because of what he's told you, what not to do. And I think it's a learning game for some gyms that maybe don't have the experienced fighters. If they got one person that's gone ahead of everyone else, they need to filter that pass that knowledge on down, down the chain, so to speak. Now, come December, you're going to look to put a show on. Have you signed a 4-fight deal with Titan? I can't remember how many you signed with them.
I signed a 4-fight deal with Titan.
Yeah.
They're with their relations with the UFC and me wanting to be in the UFC, it just made sense. They're a good promotion. They're obviously, on UFC Fight Pass. That's huge for my exposure. And they have guys that I need to fight to make it to the next level. So it's like all around win for me. There was really no going into it. There's no positive and negative weighing out a decision. It's pretty much all positive.
I was going to say,
everything I need to get to the next level. So
yeah, they do have a really good cluster of 135ers as well. So that must quite excite you as well. That you've signed a 4-fight deal, and even after this fight, that they've got a solid 135 as a next opponent. They've not got, they've got a good bunch of guys there that really will help you in your career. The fact that
expose yourself as well.
It's the fact that you get to fight those guys of a good level and to test yourself for that kind of, that USC kind of reach and goal that you want to have.
And then they got that fantastic clause in where they will not become an obstacle should the UFC come calling.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're all waiting stable, waiting to go in the UFC, and whoever shines in these fights is going to be the one that gets picked. So, I think a lot of guys in Titan, especially the 35 pounders, think everyone's really hungry because 35 is kind of an open weight class. Anybody could be the next UFC star. So, we're all thinking that we're going to be in the big show, and it's just going to come down to who's more talented and who wants it more. It's going to be guys that get brought up.
Yeah, it makes it that it's like every fight seems like a title fight in a way, because if you look good in a fight, that call could come even before you even get to a title fight in Titan.
Right. Yeah, I know. I mean, that you don't even know. If I want to be in UFC, I might roll out my whole contract. I don't know. I don't know. It just depends on how well I perform and how dominant I am, whether I get a finish or not. I'm coming off two decisions. I won all the rounds, but I really need a knockout. I got a lot of knockouts early in my career, but I really need to come out and show that I can finish somebody. I can knock somebody out. So this fight, I got to go for broke. I got to really try to turn the lights off as soon as I get in there.
Sounds like there's a fun fight coming.
Sounds like there's a fun potential. Yeah, under 15-minute fight it always intrigues me anyway. And Cody, for anyone that maybe wants to, obviously people can watch this on UFC Fight Pass, but anyone who wants to join up and give you a little bit of support and follow you on your kind of trek to this bout, how can they do it on social media, mate?
Okay, so social media, it's all the same. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's just Cody Stamann, CodyStamann. You can type in Cody Stamann on Google and you can find me on all three of those. It's all exactly the same. So make it easy for people to find me.
Good stuff. And we'll obviously, like we say, we always put the picture of the fighter, our guests that we have on, and we always put the links on there. On our Facebook page. What about, you got any sponsors, buddy, that are helping you out with this camp?
I'd really like to give a big thanks to the Patino Diet. Frank Patino, he does a ton for me. Being a fighter, it's always good to have a good doctor. My chiropractor, Dr. Stopa, Vengeance Fight Gear, all my training partners, everybody, my coaches at Michigan Top Team. There's a lot of people in my corner making sure that I succeed, and I'm pretty thankful, to have so many people rallying around me, supporting me, in my conquest, be the best.
And obviously, you got a great team and bunch of people around. Obviously, Darren Crushank, having something like that to spar with is always great. So sounds like you got a really good team, and we look forward to watching the fight. Me and Mike will be tuning in, and we watch it, and we're crossing the UK, so it's great for us to have access to these cards. Have a great fight camp, enjoy yourself, and looking forward to you putting on a great show with Kevin.
All right, thank you guys. It's an awesome interview.